Hello, everyone. It is Thursday, which means it is Call Me Al show time, but it is also fight week for UFC 268, where Al Iaquinta will be taking on Bobby Green. But Al didn't want to leave you hanging. So, what we got going on is we got a quick phone call we did with Al earlier in the week, followed by some best of. So, I know what you all want to hear. Let's hit the music.
So if you'll be my bodyguard, I can be your long lost pal. I can call you Betty, and Betty you can call me. You can call me Al. Call me Al.
This is Call Me Al with Al Iaquinta.
All right, everyone. So this is kind of a special Call Me Al show this week because it is fight week for the world's most dangerous real estate agent and Long Island sweetheart. And for you, the fans, he is going to give a little insight on what's going on during fight week. Al Iaquinta, are you there?
I am here, Aaron. What's the deal, man?
What's the deal? What's the deal with you? How's it going? This is Tuesday before fight week. This the show will come out on Thursday. So you tell us what's going on, man. How are things coming leading into the weight cut, leading into the fight? Can you contain your excitement?
I'm excited. I'm getting my weight down. Weight's right on point. I just got to the host hotel, signed the posters, got all my Venom gear. It's my first time fighting in the Venom gear, so looking forward to that. And it's gonna be a show at Madison Square Garden this Saturday night. Hope all the Call Me Al listeners are tuning in.
Oh, I know. Listen, I sent everyone away for the weekend so I could watch the fight in total concentration, total silence, so I could be completely tuned in to watch the comeback of the great Al Iaquinta.
What do you mean you sent them away?
Sent them away for the weekend. No, the truth is that they're going to the lake house, and I chose to stay behind because I didn't want to miss the fight. So,
oh, nice. All right, cool. You're the man.
No, you're the man.
Staying home just for the fights. I mean, if the card is my fight aside, the card is just insane.
Oh, it is sick. It is sick. What a card to come back on too. I mean, just amazing, top to bottom. Amazing. And now, so you are the featured prelim, is that correct?
I don't even know. It's been changing all around, so I couldn't say for sure. I'm not sure. It might be that guy that has that knockout win over Israel Adesanya. I think they might be putting him there, but I'm not really too sure. Some people saying it's me, some people saying it's not. Wherever I'm at, I'm happy to just be back in there.
Amazing. So for the listeners at home, and for me really also, what is it like the week before a fight? Because all the hard training is done. How do you keep yourself healthy? Do you stretch? Is it all about the weight cut?
Yeah, it's a lot about the weight cut. A lot of it is just maintenance stuff. I really just wish we could fight tomorrow, to be honest. It's kind of like you just hurry up and wait.
Yeah.
Media is fun. I think I like doing the media because it puts my mind in a good spot. You kind of have to kind of explain where you're at and everything and how the fight's going to go. And it puts my mind in a good spot to talk about these things. So I like doing the media. I like doing all the interviews with, that comes along with it. Tomorrow, I have some media to do. UFC does a photo shoot. They do their pre-fight questions that you hear before the fight. What I say, what I'm going to do out there and whatnot. So that's always good. And I'm going to go home after that and Wednesday night, Thursday, and come back for the weigh-ins Friday. Like 45 minutes from Manhattan, Long Island. So not too bad of a ride. Hopefully we can just get back right before traffic. I'll get a workout in back at home, and then it's just Thursdays. Thursdays pretty it's not the funnest day because I'm just cutting weight. It's just the weigh-ins are Friday morning, so you're not really eating too much. Maybe a little bit of something for breakfast, but usually like 24 hours before the weigh-ins, not much eating or drinking anything.
So now, is home field advantage, is this a real thing? Is it just so much better to be close to home by, around your friends, around your training partners, around your coaches?
Yeah, I like it. I think a lot of my friends are coming to the fight. My family will be there. Everything's close by. I like being kind of more in the spotlight. I think the more people that are there, the louder the place is, the more I shine. So I feed off that energy. I think I'm really gonna feed off this home crowd.
This is amazing. Now, is there any other message you'd like to get out to the Call Me Al show fans? Obviously, we're not going to do a full-blown live show the week of the fight. This is your career, this is your livelihood, but you have a lot of loyal fans we have built up over the last several weeks that are hanging on your every word. So what do you have to say to the Call Me Al show fans?
It's been fun so far. I've had a good time getting to know everybody that calls in. We've got some real characters and some real MMA fans. So I really appreciate everybody that's been along for this short ride. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep doing it and having fun with it. Probably do some new things here coming up in the future. But and Aaron, thank you, man. Thank you for everything. It's been fun so far. So tune in. Weigh-ins tomorrow, and if the show's coming on Thursday, weigh-ins are tomorrow. It's on Saturday. It's going to be a party, so tune in.
Yes, it will. And Al, thank you for everything. Rest up, man. Do what you need to do, and be well.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
Thank you, Al. We'll talk to you soon. HELWANI.
What kind of jabroni? What kind of low rent situation is this? I take time out of my busy day signing 8-figure deals left and right, and I have to sit through the freaking first ever episode of what is going to eventually become the #1 podcast in the space. I finally get to put a face to the name of one of the most annoying Twitter accounts in the history of Twitter accounts. I mean, this guy. Know your role and shut your mouth, Aaron. Enough with the DMs. Enough bothering me. You got independent HELWANI here, baby. This ain't your old Ariel HELWANI. I'll let you know right now.
Wow, who's raging here?
I'm raging.
Raging Ariel.
I've been on the receiving end of enough raging out promos. It's time for me to take over. Now, you guys can't see me.
Break something. You won't.
Damn.
You guys hear an echo too? I could fight through it because I'm a professional broadcaster, but do you guys hear an echo when I speak?
No, you sound perfect. So what'll come out recorded, I'm not sure where the echo is with you, but it will come out perfect. It will come out a perfect recording.
Well, you are not what I thought you looked like, Aaron. I mean, this has totally broken the fourth wall for me. I mean, I can't believe I'm actually looking at you. It's a nice backdrop.
Thank you.
Iaquinta, top 5 greatest human beings in the history of mixed martial arts. He tells me to come on his show. I interrupt my vacation and I say, family, stand aside.
I can't thank you enough, Ariel.
HELWANI. Anything for you. I'll run to Long Beach right now from Canada for you, Al.
You are the man. Let's go.
So, did your head go flying all the way from Ottawa to Montreal?
What?
Your head went flying all the way from Montreal Ottawa to Montreal.
My head went from.
Oh no, you got a pretty
You're not
shitty
even
app
making
going on
sense.
here, bro. This is
You're
the
not
worst
even making
fucking
sense.
app ever.
If you were here, I would fucking kick your ass so fast, bro. You have no idea. I would, bro.
Okay.
Look at you.
picking
Put your
fights with
face
me,
on.
but
You
you
can't even
won't
see
fight
your
Thiago
face, you
Moises.
retard.
Go fight
Put your
Thiago
face on. You
Moises
can't even
and
see
see
your
what
face.
happens.
Put your
Go fight
face on.
Thiago Moises.
Do you even?
You wanna see
How
my
many
face?
teeth
There
are you
you go.
missing?
What kind of
There you
shirt
go.
is that?
Where
Let's
are
go.
you right now? Where are you right now?
Why does it matter?
Why does it
Are
matter
you
what
gonna
I
like fly
think
me out or
about
something? Is that what you're
being
trying to do? You're trying to fight
Charles
someone
Cerrone's
who's not
last
even a
win?
fighter?
What'd you say?
You're trying to fight someone who's not even a fighter, hey?
You're trying to fight a fighter, bro. You're picking. It's a bad idea.
No. I'm just trying to tell you facts, and you're getting pissed off about it. Like you're the one picking fights with me. I'm the one talking on Instagram. You're the one
You picked
replying
a
to me.
fight on
Like,
Instagram,
bro.
you fucking retard. Bro, you're
You're
so
the
stupid.
fucking
You're like
retard.
the
You're the one who
stupidest
got time
person
to
I've ever
reply to
seen.
me.
Bro,
You're supposed to be selling houses. Go sell houses, then you fucking bum.
give me something
Go
good.
sell
Tell me
houses.
something good.
Go
Give me,
sell houses.
please, say something good about somebody. Is your
Say
like
something
say
good?
something? Yeah, what good has
James
happened
Krause,
today?
I think you won against Trevin Giles. There you go.
Yeah, my man. Let's
Oh
go.
hell yeah! There we
I
go.
got you,
Something
James.
good.
You're a fucking dog.
My man.
Al,
My
you
man.
need a fight. I was a fan of you, but you need a fight, bro. You have
Bro, because I
current
don't. Because
UFC
I'm not.
fighter
Because
in
I'm
your
not.
bio. You have current UFC fighter in your bio. When's the last time you fought? You fought a
When
guy
do I-
named
where
Hooker
do-
and you fucking got your legs kicked out.
Where do I have current UFC in my bio? I don't have anything UFC in my bio, bro.
Why, are you retired?
You're on the Ariel Helwani show. You're answering questions about real estate left and right, about your contract, about the fight being signed left and right. At what point were you going to bring up the Call Me Out show?
I thought he was going to bring it up. I don't really bring up things on the Ariel's show. He usually brings it up. You know what I mean? I kind of just let him ride with the interview, and yeah, he never brought it up. I had thought that he was going to bring it up in the beginning when he talked about the picture, Mr. Pan. That he was going to say, "Oh, is this the set for the Call Me Out show?" But he went straight to Mr. Pan and the painting. I think that he might be trying to put us down a little bit. He might be threatened.
We did him a favor, okay? We allowed him to come on as the first guest to help him get the MMA Hour back on the map, and I think we succeeded. I think he owes us a little bit.
No, absolutely. We made him. He comes on, and then the MMA Hour starts again. We kind of I think the Call Me Out show reignited Ariel's career.
I think so. And
he's on our show. Then they ask him to be on Showtime.
There's no way that's a coincidence. No way.
Definitely not a coincidence.
So you want to fight guys that you don't like?
No, because I not that I don't like Bobby Green. I think Bobby Green is, he's been around for a while. He's like a guy that I was watching him fight. I'm pretty sure he fought like Danny Lazone in Affliction.
Really?
Way back in the day. I'm pretty sure that was him. And I mean, it's just a guy that's been around forever. And we were supposed to fight, and he got hurt. And I saw him in the locker room at one of Aljo's fights. And I was like, oh, shit. It's always awkward when that happens, God forbid he starts looking at you weird, and you look at it, and he says something, and you got to say something, and God, But he was respectful. He came up to me. He was like, yo, respect, man. I'm really sorry I had to pull out of the fight. I got hurt. Very animated. He's like, Iaquinta, respect, man. Iaquinta, respect. I was like, you know what? I fucking like this guy. He's not, And then I heard him in one of the interviews. He did that interview with his father, is a white guy, and it was during that whole time. When the whole thing was going on a short while ago.
The George Floyd thing?
Yeah, and he spoke about it, and it was very just very good. He spoke very well, and it was something that would inspire if anyone that was listening, it would inspire you to just love the person next to you like they were anybody else, no matter who they were. And I was like, shit, man, that that's I'm sure I'm sure a lot of people heard that and it resonated with a lot of people. So that was cool.
Yeah,
And I like his style. There's no one that fights like him. He's got his hands down. He's talking, and it's definitely a tricky style. He draws people in. It looks like he's trying to be very counter fighter. He draws people in with his hands down. And he's fast. He's strong. And when people put pressure on him, he's out of there. Fiziev was chasing after him at one point. You remember? He kind of like turned his back.
Yeah, it's a meme now on MMA Twitter. Everyone's posting
really?
people getting chased by Fiziev.
I haven't seen that. That's great. Was that
Usman or Covington?
Oh, Usman or Covington, he's saying.
Yeah.
If I had to bet, I would go with Usman just because we've seen him since the last Colby fight. He's been getting better and better. Colby, I don't know. We haven't really seen it, so you don't know, but I'm sure he has been, right?
What's that? What gym does he train at now?
Colby, I don't know.
He's got his own thing going, from what I understand. He's still in Florida, but it's not ATT. He's got like his own. I think he's got his own little camp.
Wasn't Mike Perry was there for a couple of weeks?
Oh God!
And then I guess like it didn't work out. That's when he had it. That's when he had his girl in his corner, I believe.
He was training with Colby, huh?
Yeah, I didn't know that. Like one time, Colby
I don't know if he trained with Colby, but he was training with those coaches.
Oh, yeah. It wouldn't seem to me like they would get along, but you never know.
Yeah, at some point, Colby said that Mike Perry belonged to fighting in Indian casinos, so I didn't know they train together. Oh, MMA Masters. Okay, that's where he's at now. I'm not.
Okay.
Thank you, Night Eternity, for that one.
Who's the head coach there?
I'm just trying
I'll look
it up.
I'm just trying to think because Usman's with Whitman now, and his striking looks so much better, and his power. What he did to Jorge, that was nasty. That was disgusting. He damn near actually killed him.
Yeah, that was a brutal knockout, and he was looking. I mean, it looks like he's just getting better and better. That'll keep happening faster and faster as time goes on. If they fought 10 times over the next 5 years, Usman, he just looks like he's getting better and better and better.
I mean, Colby's only fought Woodley, right, since that fight.
Woodley.
And,
yeah, Woodley.
You know.
And it wasn't that impressive. Remember Woodley hurt his rib at the end, trying to put him in the guillotine. It was probably already fractured before then, but yeah.
The only coaches I see for MMA Masters, I'm going to butcher these names, is Daniel Valverde and Cesar Carniero. So unless you guys know who these guys
Never
are,
heard of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the only way Colby can beat Usman is decision. He's not going to finish him. When's the last time Colby knocked someone out? Like, he doesn't really have much power. He's not that big at 170, but he just tries to beat you with volume. But I think Usman's going to be too much. If you're going to stand up and strike with Usman, he's got that power. And I think it's going to be similar to the first fight, and Usman's going to put him away a little bit earlier. I think second or third round.
Yeah, Chael said it best. He goes, Colby weaponizes pace and cardio, right? And then he does against everybody else. But against Usman, it feels like Usman's just a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, and just as good a shape, maybe a little bit better stand-up. You know, he can't muscle him around with the wrestling. And that's seems like the difference, but we'll see what Colby has now. We'll see. I mean, he might come out with something totally different. You be asking third cousin Sean for his advice going into it.
Man, I only ever hear from him after I lose. It's the weirdest thing. I don't know why he doesn't give me advice before I'm going in, man.
whenever I lose a fight, he's got a lot to say, but it's just radio silence from the guy if I win or before a fight or anything. So
does he have some valid? Does he have some valid advice at all?
Do you want me to read it?
Yeah, let's hear it. Now it's getting good.
This is it. This is
I'll
what we've all been waiting.
I'll go back. This is the Cyril Gone loss message. Please take this with a grain of salt. You need a third fight game plan, because that was my second fight in UFC. If you don't get first round, need to take round 2, or you're obviously looking for a KO round 3. I know you're probably already pissed and don't care to listen to a guy like me. I've 100% watched more UFC fights than anyone you've ever met, even in the UFC. Fucking sick. I remember you fighting 205 and thought you were super cut. I know you've learned a lot since then, and it shows, but you're always going to be fighting bigger fighters, even up to 285 pounds. You need wrestling or leg strikes or clinch work to close distance. Head movement could be better, in my opinion. Going forward striking, it looks pretty nice, but becomes predictable. Usually you have backwards head movement, but not these past few fights. Your leg kicks are one of your top tools to gain points. Slow movement and make your opponent think about a different variable of striking. Since Hague, you've kept your chin tucked, and if you can rely on your movement, you could rip the inside. Seems like when you get there, you push your feet back. I'm here for you, bro. I am cheering you on. Just probably the most hardcore MMA fan in Alberta. No problem telling me to fuck off. And your brother is actually a savage. And then I replied with, take this with a grain of salt too. Suck my dick. You've never done anything.
I love the reply. It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating when someone that, I mean, he said it right there. He's watched a whole bunch of fights. I mean, I'm sure some of those things they might, I mean, it sounds like good advice for anybody. Head movement, basic good advice, but you want that coming from a coach. You want that coming from a teammate, coming from that guy. Take with a grain of salt, suck my dick.
You want it. You want it from somebody who actually knows what they're talking about. You can watch fights and you can understand on a surface level what's happening. You know the moves, you know what the guys are doing, or you know what submission that was, or what kick that is, or if that's a good position or a bad position, but you don't actually know what's going on. You know, you don't. And I mean, there's hundreds of Shauns in every fighter's DMs on Instagram and Twitter, hundreds. But it's really, really disappointing when it's a Shaun that you actually know or are related to.
Oh, Eric wants to know if you've been keeping up with the Ariel Helwani Brendan Schaub beef.
Let's get Eric in and talk about it. I don't know what the latest is. I think that Schaub said that Ariel was given that position on the Showtime Jake Paul Tyron Woodley fight because he turned it down. And then Ariel said it wasn't true. Schaub apologized over text message, and Ariel said that, I really appreciate you texting me, but he said that it would be better if he did it on the air where he said that. It kind of put a lie out there. He said, well, if you're going to, don't just text me sorry, say sorry to the world that you told this lie to in the first place. Eric, what's up, brother?
What's going on, guys?
How you doing, bro?
I'm doing well. I was curious what you you kind of explained it a little bit there, but yeah, did you see he kind of went in on Brendan Schaub, Ariel? Everyone was saying like 10-7 Ariel on his last MMA hour. I mean,
yeah.
HELWANI, I kind of like independent Ariel.
He said there's no such thing as High Road Helwani anymore. High Road Helwani is gone. That's the part I heard.
Has he ever been High Road Helwani?
That's a good question. Has he ever been High Road Helwani? He definitely wouldn't lash out or he wouldn't put his foot down like he did. That's for sure. He would it would almost be like he would try to be like, oh, well, come on. They like with the Dana White thing when that happened, he was kind of like, I can't believe that happened to me, that they would do that. Now, I think if that happened, he would be like, you know what? F this, F that. You heard him curse?
Oh my God. I even tweeted that. I was like, I've never seen him like this before, but I kind of love it. I never thought I'd ever hear Ariel say fuck before. That messed me up a little bit. I wasn't prepared.
I love it. I love it. He dropped the F-bomb. Incredible.
Do you care as a fighter whose sport he covers? I mean, like that he, he's kind of like a personality now. He is still a journalist, so he should be impartial. But like me personally, I think he's kind of grown above that, and he's, he's more of a personality now. Still does journalism too, but like he can kind of get away with this stuff because of how big a name he is. But how do you feel?
No, I think, yeah, he's become bigger than just like an MMA reporter. He's kind of he's a personality, like you said. He can do anything. I really believe he's good enough, and people want to see him. So he's in with the pro wrestling now. He's doing great with that. NBA. He's a big NBA fan. He played basketball himself, so he knows what he's talking about there. And MMA is where he got his start, but I see him branching out. And he's not like when you see a guy like some of these ESPN guys coming over to MMA, they try to it's almost like they try to know what they're talking. They put on a fake little something, and it's like it's weird when an NBA journalist or an NFL journalist transfers over to MMA, because you can kind of see it. The MMA fans, they see right through it, but when it's the other way around, maybe it's just Ariel, but when it's the other way around with Ariel, you still get a genuine thing. I don't think that Stephen A. Smith had much interest in MMA until very recently. But the things that Ariel is covering, it's stuff that he's been interested in and knowledgeable about in a really long time, for a really long time. Excuse me. So he's he's definitely smarter. He's not as I guess like outlandish. He doesn't really like drop. Stephen A. Smith has said some ridiculous things, and the MMA community just laughs at it. And I don't know, maybe it's doing a good thing for the sport as far as mainstream coverage, but I think it might be okay in some, the mainstream, the diehards don't really see it. But I think if Ariel's on a NBA or WWE program, even the diehards are vibing with what he's putting down. I heard Kevin Lee was in one of my buddies saw Kevin Lee in a strip club.
No way.
Out in Vegas. Said he wasn't looking too good.
Oh,
that's kind of like a sad picture I see in my mind when he tells me that. He's like, yeah, I saw Kevin Lee. They were in Vegas this week.
Yeah.
And he said he saw Kevin Lee in the strip club. Not looking too hot.
Damn.
But yeah, poor guy.
Yep. I mean, that's yeah. I don't wish that on anybody. I hope they were like flicking cigarettes at him or anything. Strippers generally don't do that sort of thing, right?
Imagine Kevin Lee's before the fight. They all love him. Now he goes back in there. I thought you were number 3 in the world. You said you were number 3. I didn't see a number next to your name, and you just lost, so you can't be that good.
Oh. Somebody else commented that he's moving up to middleweight where he's top 5 already. So
if Usman's lucky, he'll come back down and give him a rematch.
And your coach, Ray Longo, like, what is his background? I haven't really heard much about his backstory, like in interviews or anything like that, or like explanation as to where he, like, was he like a fighter? Where did he get his experience from to become a trainer? Because I know he's like striking based.
Yeah, striking based. He was more of a not so much of a fighter, but he had a Jeet Kune Do background. He was just a all out martial artist growing up. Um, he was big into. He was, I believe, he trained with Dan Inosanto, who was one of Bruce Lee's uh, like training partners. But he was more into like the Jeet Kune Do and the martial arts. Then got into boxing, and really just has an eye for it. He trained a bunch himself. Never really competed, I don't think. But man, does he have an eye for the fight game? Definitely skilled in his own right, but as far as coaching, preparing guys, and his corner in the corner, really what makes Ray, what I think stands out more than anybody with Ray, is that he doesn't train anybody that he doesn't like. If you're not like if you're not like there's guys that come into the gym that probably could be in the UFC, but Ray just doesn't like vibe with them, or doesn't, they're not like Ray's cup of tea. He's not really going to help him. It's like he only trains people that he really clicks with and that he has a vested interest in, no matter how good they are. And I think that translates in the fight when it's when you're in the trenches and you're in the going into the third round or the fifth round of a title fight, and you need to be told the right thing. You see it all the time with a lot of these guys. I mean, there's guys that go to gyms that you could just tell they go there for a little while and they go here for a little while. And there's trainers that guys come into the gym, they train them for a little while, then the new guy comes in, he's training this guy and that. It's like everybody from Ray is really like from the ground up, from like their first pro fight. Like Justin Montalvo, the kid that was just on the he was just on. I don't know if you were watching. Oh, you were watching.
Yeah, Mike Perry's brother.
Mike Perry's
Mike
brother.
Perry's brother. Yeah.
He's that kid's been in the gym since he was a little fat 11-year-old. You know what I mean? And now Ray has seen that kid grow into an absolute savage, and those are the kind of people that Ray trains, and it's just it's so much different than any other place. I do think there are places like this. I know Uriah Faber has got a bunch of guys like that where he's seen them come up from when they were getting in trouble, and then they turn their life around, and they're young and stupid, and they grow up, and those are the kind of people that you want in your corner, or that a coach would want to be in the corner. And that's Ray. That's where Ray is really. That's what I think separates his eye for the fight game. Like even like with the Anderson Silva fight, punch a fucking hole in his chest. Like it's motivating. It's motivating. It's out. It's kind of like out there. Everyone latched onto it, but in the lead up to that whole fight, it was Anderson Silva he moves his head. He makes you look silly because you miss. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna punch a hole in his fucking chest. You know what I mean? And the way in that corner work, he knows what to say to certain fighters to get them motivated. He knows what not to say to keep them on the right track. I think him and Matt Serra have a perfect dynamic in the corner, a great coaching style. It's just they're very unique, and I think that's the reason that it works. And when they've been there, Matt Serra's he's been in the title fights. He's been on the Ultimate Fighter. He's coached the Ultimate Fighter. He's won the Ultimate Fighter. He's won the title. He's been in the UFC as long as pretty much anybody. So, and Ray is the guy that's for a lot of his success has been there. And Matt Serra went from a guy who was just a jiu-jitsu guy to a guy that knocks people out in the UFC. You know, he really wasn't much of a striker at all. And Ray not only taught him striking, but convinced him to learn striking. That was back in a time when it was jiu-jitsu versus the world. Matt Serra, there was a time where he didn't have any interest, I think, in the stand-up game. And Ray kind of convinced him to work on his stand-up, and then you saw him towards the end of the career knocking people out. So when these guys tell you that you're ready, when these guys tell you that you belong in the UFC, you see a lot of these guys, these younger fighters, they would just want to be in the UFC so bad. And it's like you want to be with a gym. It depends what you want to do. Do you want to be in the UFC? Do you want to just get to the UFC and have a fight or two? Or do you want to get in the UFC when you're ready and have a successful career? Because if that's what you want to do, you want to go to a gym like Longo, and you just want to you don't want to say a word. You want to just work. Like this Justin the Kid, like a few other guys, they just work. And they don't beg to be in the UFC. They're not calling people asking to be in the UFC. They just work and work and work. And they know that when Ray Longo and Matt Serra think you're ready to be in the UFC, you'll be in the UFC because they want you there. So that's the real difference. It's the guys that come into the gym and they're like begging to be in the UFC. It's like, do you really think you're ready for the UFC? And if you do, there might be a little bit of a self-awareness problem, because if you're at Ray Longo's and Matt Serra's and you're begging to be in the UFC, you're probably not ready for it, because if you were ready, you'd be in there. Matt and Ray, they know who's ready, and you don't have to ask to be in the UFC. If you're fighting, you're winning, you get there, you're gonna get your shot. You know what I mean? You're going to get your shot. They'll get you the fights in the regional promotions that will get you in front of Dana White. And it's proven. It's proven. The guys that go to Serra Longo and they just work, they train hard, and that are ready, they go into the UFC and they have a successful career. There aren't many guys from the team that have gotten into the UFC and really been like 1 or 2 and out. They usually have a pretty successful career.
You know how a lot of people like the relationship between Habib and Javier because they show it on social media and stuff like that. You think about maybe sharing your relationship with Ray, like between you guys, because Habib always jokes with Javier like, "Oh, you're fat, you need to lose weight" and stuff like that. Like, do you do similar stuff with Ray as well? Like, you could just because I think that's what people like, where they see like the back and forth between they and then their coach and stuff.
Yeah,
like in the gym and stuff.
We joke around. I don't know if we're like I don't know if we're like the social media record everything type. You know what I mean? It's just like I think Ray's a little different like that. I'm a little different like that. I'm not like a big broadcast guy. You know what I mean? I think that's another thing that kind of what goes on in our gym is like people don't really see too much of that. You know what I mean? I think the other thing is we don't want people to see too much of it. It's I think that it would maybe eventually. I think they should have done a reality show years ago. Really, what they need to record is when Matt and Ray are together, because that is just like a comedy show. So for the people out there listening, we have Chance, the bouncer, from what was the bar's name?
Beachcomber Bar and Grill.
Beachcomber Bar and Grill in Seaside, New Jersey. You were working. What was this on? Was it Saturday night?
Yeah, it was Saturday.
So Saturday night, you're working. It's like a regular Saturday night. I'm sure there's a lot of craziness going on in Seaside. And take us through what you see. What happens?
Yeah. So I was the doorman that night. We usually flip-flop spots at the bar, but that night I was on the door. And this wedding party comes through, and they're like 50, 60 people deep. and I already caught 2 fake IDs from the wedding. So by like by like 11:30, 12 o'clock, maybe a little bit later, that's when Dylan and 3 of his buddies come up to the bar, and I asked them for IDs. The 3 guys gave me their IDs, and Dylan told me, like, I don't have an ID. So I'm like, sorry, bro, you're not getting in, man. I need an ID. and then he says, like, oh, you don't know who I am and stuff. And
oh my God. I can't believe that's so sad. You don't know who I am. Oh my God.
And I was like, sorry, dude, I don't know who you are, man. I need an ID. And then he Googles himself and then shows me the Google page, and I'm like, that's not an ID, bro. I need like a driver's license, passport, something. I need something just to so I know how old you are. And then after that he started getting a little like agitated or whatever that I didn't know who he was and stuff. And then I was just hanging out on my little stool, hanging out. And then one of the other bouncers gets in between us. We're like 5-6 feet apart. He's probably like 2 or 3 feet away from Dylan. And he's like, dude, you're not getting in, man. Just leave the property, bro. Like, you're not getting in. And we had a cop actually that was like hanging out by us, because we usually have like 1 or 2 cops just hanging out around the bar. and then the Dylan takes a step forward towards the other bouncer, Jake, and he's kind of like, Jake puts his hand on his chest. And he's like, dude, don't move up too close, man. Like, you don't need to do that. And then that's when he's like, don't touch me, hibbity blah blah. And then while they're having their whole conversation, I'm like, walking behind these guys. And then that's when Dylan tried to throw a punch. It wasn't a great punch. He tried throwing a punch, missed it. And that's when I grabbed him by his neck, pulled him down. And usually whenever I do that, I'm legitimately choking you out for like a second or two until you realize, the situation you're in. And then in the video, you see him tap and everything, and I was like, you all right, man? You good? And he gives me like a little thumbs up. So I just kind of let go and bear hug him a little bit. So the cops got everybody else under control and could give me a hand.
And then when the cops got there, it looked like he was fighting the cops when they were taking him away.
I mean, yeah, he was like, I don't know, he was like wiggling around a little bit, trying to get himself out of the situation he was in. And then after they got the handcuffs, I just kind of walked away. In the video, I don't really think I watched him. In the video, it looked like he tried to like lunge forward and like his leg fell out from under him. The leg with the braids, I think, like kind of like slipped out from under him. And then the cops had to like drag him out, or like not carry him or drag him, but like push him out, get him into the back of the car.
Yeah, man, the guy's still got this leg problem, and he's going to bars and starting fights, no ID. It's like if you go to a bar with no ID. We were talking about this earlier. You go to the bar and you forget your ID. You're like that guy. Like the 3 guys with him were probably like, dude, we just want to have a good time. Those 3 guys, their night was like ruined because of this. They probably would have had a great night, picked up they probably had some chicks meeting them there, whatever. And it all got ruined because this guy had no ID and he had to be a tough guy. And if he probably would have been, I mean, yeah, it's sad.
I mean, nobody wants that guy. Nobody wants that guy in their group. The guy who forgets his ID. Nobody wants to be that guy, especially. But I mean, it was just. I was like, dude, I'm sorry, man. Nothing I could do. You should go to like another bar or something like that. They might recognize you. I don't know, man. But I personally don't really like watch a ton of MMA. Like I'll watch main events or like other fights or something like that. But I don't. Yeah, I'm not really a massive fan of it.
Well, if you watch every single MMA fight there is ever in the world, you'd barely ever see Dylan Dennis because he doesn't fight. He's fought 2 fights, and his record is 2-0 against guys that aren't really too great. But he supposedly is pretty good at jiu-jitsu. I don't really know. unless you're like the best jiu-jitsu guy in the world, really, who cares? In my opinion, I don't know.
Well, you know, I see a lot of people like kind of jumping on him and everything like that. Like yo, he's apparently, you know, he's like one of the best in the world, and I see people giving him a lot of problems for it and everything. You know, I'm 6 foot, 275 pounds. If I drop you to the ground, like, and I'm holding you, it's gonna be hard to get out of it. And like people are saying, like, I cross my legs, I cross my ankles. You could have fucking snapped my ankle or something. Like, yeah, you could have, but you know, I only did that when I thought he was really gonna do it. I mean, yeah.
Well, I think the hate that he's getting is not because of him being a jiu-jitsu guy and getting choked out. It's just that's the kind of person he is. He's definitely he's not famous because, well, he's not famous, but he's like a troll. People just hate him, and that's the only reason he's out there. He's really done nothing in the MMA space. He's had like 2 fights. He's really like Conor's. You know, he's a loudmouth, Conor McGregor wannabe guy. So I got to be honest with you, man. I love the way you handled yourself like a professional, and you did a great job against this guy, because this guy, man, you made a lot of people happy. I'll put it that way.
I've been very surprised with how many like views and comments and stuff. I started to, you know, like the first day or two, I didn't really pay much mind, but after, like, I think it was yesterday or today, or even like today, I started doing it. I started just going into the comments and like commenting funny stuff on people's posts and seeing how long it took until I got caught. And and so far I've been doing pretty good. So far only like 4 or 5 people have messaged me.
That is awesome, man. Live it up, man. Live it up. You're freaking you're like the hero. You are the hero in the MMA space right now. People are like, thank God you did what you did and you made him tap. Like, that's the best part about it, is that he was tapping. He was tapping this guy. It's so good. It's so good.
Scott Coker.
I mean,
Scott Coker's gonna call him. Sorry, go ahead, Lee.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be done in like a week or something like that. I don't think anyone's gonna remember it.
Oh, I don't know about that. I think it definitely hurts. Like his thing was like he talked shit to everybody, you know. But now, how could you talk shit when you're like you're that guy that, you know what I mean? Like, he thought he was gonna Google himself and get into the bar.
I mean,
so
yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's not a great look. Not a great look.
Definitely not a great look. Man, I'm glad you called in. Chance the Bouncer.
Can we is there any socials where we can find you? I'm sure people are gonna ask, because we were looking for you all over the place.
Oh man, I changed my name on my Instagram, so nobody would find me.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
No, here, let's see what happens. It's Chance, my name, _3141.
Hey.
Chance _3141. Give this guy a follow. He is a legend. I can't thank you on behalf of the mixed martial arts community enough for shutting this guy up and bringing him to the slammer. Exactly where he belongs. Disorderly conduct. He was charged with disorderly conduct. He's been conducting himself disorderly since I became aware of this nuisance. And that's all he is. He goes around and he's just a problem starter. And he got exactly what he deserved. Your bar doesn't need anything like Dylan Dennis walking into it, that's for sure. Chance the Bouncer, you're the man. I really appreciate you calling in on your break. Incredible stuff, my man. Incredible.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you on behalf of the world. Cheers, brother.
Oh, wow.
Cheers, guys. Have a good night.
You too. Man. I'm glad I took that call.
Thanks for listening to Call Me Al with Iaquinta. Remember to subscribe to the podcast wherever you like to listen.
I can call you Betty.